Hello, everybody. Welcome into Talking Fitchburg on this Thursday, May 12th, 2022. You may have woke up today thinking it's like July 12th, based on how hot it is out there. It's a steamy one for sure. And welcome into Talking Fitchburg. Jeremy Crosby here. Do I look sunburned? I've got a little sun, but that's okay. We'll take it. Busy show coming up for you today. You can stay cool and watch us inside. We've got a recap of the Town of Madison transportation meeting that happened last night. We'll take you out to that and share some of the details that were talked about. Plus, we're going to take you out to the inclusive playground. Kids Building Wisconsin is coming up this weekend, and we want to make sure you're ready to go. It's happening Saturday, May 14th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at McKee Farms Park here in Fitchburg. Kids Building Wisconsin is a free, fun, and educational event for kids centered around the construction industry. And Andrew has informed me that they have a lumberjack this year, a lumberjack show that may be loud. So consider bringing some earplugs with you if you are planning to attend this. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. again this Saturday. Activities also include boom lift rides, building a toolbox, giant sand pit, and big equipment, along with some virtual reality and so much more. There also is a shuttle for parking off-site. So if parking does get very difficult during this event, so you may want to choose taking the shuttle. You can park at CDW, City Hall, or the Tri-North parking lots there and get rides into the park. All right, sticking with construction, Fishhatchery Road construction is continuing here with some updates and pavement painting. But we've got some closures to tell you about coming up here on Friday, the 13th, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. High Ridge Trail will be closed. And then from 12 to 3 p.m. Let me back up here. Cahill, Maine will be closed from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. High Ridge Trail will be closed 12 to 3 p.m. If you got any questions, you can contact Andrew McFadden from our city engineering department. Scam arrest to tell you about. Fitchburg Police Department arresting a couple of individuals on a scam. 2 people were arrested in Fitchburg Wednesday afternoon for their involvement in a scam involving fake jewelry. Around 3 p.m. Wednesday, a 911 caller reported they were at a local credit union with 2 people trying to sell fake jewelry. Responding officers saw the suspect vehicle, drove out of the credit union, and conducted a traffic stop. Officers learned the pair had approached the caller at the gas station earlier, where they were told a story that they struggled to get money for travel to Florida. The suspects exchanged what they said was gold jewelry for food and gas purchased by the victim. Following the first exchange, the duo offered the exchange more jewelry for cash, and the victim drove to the credit union where the police officers were summoned. Officers confirmed the jewelry was not gold and had no significant value. Several individuals were taken into custody on charges by misdemeanor. A 14-year-old traveling with the suspects was released to the family. And this is considered a nationwide scam that we've learned about here, a part of this. But if you think you are being scammed or even think it's fishy, make sure you call the Fitchburg Police Department and report that, and just say no and walk away in these types of situations. Job openings to tell you about here in the city of Fitchburg. We'd love to have you join Team Fitchburg. We've got a few of them here for you. Administration intern, building attendant, community service liaison, deputy city assessor, police officer, lateral or entry-level position, program assistant for park and recreations, public works maintenance worker, utility, public works, parks and street maintenance worker, seasonal parks maintenance, and seasonal utility maintenance. If you're interested in any of these jobs, check out our website, fitchburgwi.gov. Right on the homepage, you can check out the jobs and the application to sign up. Madison Metro Redesign public hearings are coming up. There's 2 more chances for you to get your opinion in here for this. The final community meeting will be held on Thursday, May 19th at 6 p.m. You can attend in person or it'll be streaming on live. This meeting will be held in person at the Madison Municipality Building. That's 125 Martin Luther King Drive, room 212. Again, it will be streamlined, and there'll be public hearing scheduled for Tuesday, May 31st, 6 p.m. Virtual. And that's the Madison Metro Transit and City of Madison Transportation Policy and Planning Board will hold that public hearing at 6 p.m. to talk about the proposed changes that will go in effect of June of 2023. Finally, turning our attention to wildfire protection. Want to make sure you stay safe out there. There's been quite a few wildfires across Wisconsin. While the fire danger remains low to moderate in some places, you can do some things to avoid and prevent your house and/or property from having things that could start or be flammable. So, remove any flammable debris within 30 feet of your home and discard cigarettes properly to avoid hazards. And you can go to ready.gov/wildfires to learn more about how to protect yourself. But if there are any wildfires affecting your area, make sure you listen to local officials, review your evacuation route, and have an emergency bag just in case you must evacuate. Again, we've had very dry conditions, and especially when the wind picks up as well, it can make things a lot more hazardous. So do your part to clean up things and be safe. And of course, report any fires that you see out there by dialing 911. All right, that does it for our headlines. Coming up next, we open up our digest. We're going to take you out to last night's Town of Madison transportation meeting. And later on, we'll check in with the new inclusive playground that's going up at McKee Farms Park. We'll have the details on that all here on a steamy Thursday, Talking Fitchburg. Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. In the digest today, we're going to be talking about the meeting that happened last night. It was a Metro Transit redesign meeting. It was a public meeting held in the Southdale neighborhood. We broadcasted this live last night, but in case you missed it, we wanted to bring you some of the details from that meeting, and we have that for you right now.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chad Brecklin. I want to welcome you all to a listening session here in regards to Metro Transit's proposed route adjustments based upon their network redesign. I want to thank everybody for coming this evening. Regrettably, Mayor Richardson was unable to attend tonight, but we do have our council president, Randy Udell, is here to listen to feedback and to what Metro has to say. I also want to thank Andrew McFadden here to my left. He is one of our transportation engineers who has been our point of contact with Metro throughout the entire redesign process. He's very dialed in, so to speak, as it relates to the proposed route changes and their impact on Fitchburg and what will soon be Fitchburg here in the Southdale neighborhood. So he's been working very closely with Metro. He was able to help me get this meeting set up. We also want to thank our community members here at Doxa Church for allowing us to use this facility. It's a really nice facility, as many of you can see, and it's great to have a location here in Southdale where we can have neighborhood meetings like this. So
yeah, I just wanted to quickly kind of go over the background of kind of how we got to now. I know these are never, I feel like it always feels like these are rushed, and it's like, we need a decision tomorrow, And so I just want to make sure everybody's kind of oriented towards, what went into this so far. And then I'm going to hand it over to Mike Chikvala from Madison Metro to really get into the nuts and bolts. But just really briefly, you can kind of see here, this is a slide that I took from our Council of the Whole meeting. And really this just shows, so kind of starting in early 2021, staff in Metro started talking through some initial discussions, and we've had a number of outreach events, specifically, mainly oriented towards Fitchburg, existing Fitchburg residents, but we also, as recently as March 28th, held a meeting at City Hall, but we had satellite locations just to try to get some more feedback from residents, specifically one up here at Southdale. So there were a few opportunities, and just to kind of walk through some of the choices and alternatives.
The transit network redesign is a project to redesign the route system in a way that better meets the needs of Madison area residents and businesses. We have a website there, mymetrobus.com/redesign. There you'll find a lot of the information that I'm presenting today, as well as previous presentations and further reports and analysis. This is our pre-COVID transit network. So this is what we're redesigning with the project. So as you can see, the existing transit network or the pre-COVID transit network was largely designed around the 4 transfer points. It has a lot of overlapping routes. There was a handful of commuter routes that kind of bypassed the transfer point system, providing service directly into the downtown area. Some of that service and some of the service shown was discontinued in 2020 in response to the COVID pandemic. But at any rate, this is what we're talking about with the transit network. We're talking about where the routes go and also how frequently they run. So looking at the map in closer to the area, this is the draft plan map. Again, the colors are different, but the routes are the same. One change that we are investigating is providing better service closer to the neighborhood west of Rimrock Road near Pheasant Ridge, closer to where Route 16 currently goes, while trying to also keep Route G as fast and direct as possible. So this is one option that we're considering. This would be a small loop on west of Rimrock. This street here is Latitude 43 Street, and then this street here is Novation Parkway. So buses in both directions would make a clockwise loop around there, and there would be a bus stop right there at Latitude 43 and Novation, which would then be a 1 block walk away, 1 block walk to the current bus stop at Pheasant Ridge in Deer Valley. Another option that we are considering is doing this larger loop around Badger, Pheasant Ridge, and then coming back towards Novation Parkway. That route is not currently possible because the street connection is not there yet. But I think that's something that we would like to consider when that street connection is made. Alternative 3 is another option we looked at. This is a larger loop with Route G that's similar to the loop that Route 16 currently does. This larger loop is problematic for us because it drastically increases costs because of the way the schedules work out for Route G. It also significantly makes Route G longer and more circuitous for people going through the area. And finally, this is another option that could work with or without whatever change we make to Route G. This would be a change of Route Z, which would use Badger Road, Pheasant Ridge, and Ski Lane west of Rimrock, which would provide service within the neighborhood. And it would go between Fitchburg and downtown, but it would only operate during rush hours.
I'm Mick Malee. I'm the owner of Maple Glen Apartments in Southdale. We have a 130-unit project. Since the last meeting, first of all, I want to thank you for coming and explaining this to us. It's been very helpful. I've learned even more than I knew before, which is a wonderful thing, and I'm glad for the conversation. Between the last meeting that we had and this one, we polled our residents. Again, we have 130 units, and we asked our residents, would this impact them? How strongly do they feel about it, and so on and so forth. And we ended up, and I'm just going to hand this out, I guess, and give it to you all, but we ended up with 43 signatures here on this, and these were folks that just pretty much came into the office while they were paying rent, and they're all impacted. And so it is an important issue to the neighborhood. I think we have to do all that we can to improve the current design of the plan to somehow get a bus route into that neighborhood and away from really busy streets. We've got a lot of kids in that neighborhood, many, many kids. So the other large concern is the to and from school. And I think I want to make sure I heard this right, but that's not going to be impacted. But then there was a caveat that said, depending upon the rerouting the final design, so I'm not sure what that means. The question I will face and our management will face is, will my kids be able to pick up the bus in front of Deer Valley Road or Pheasant Ridge Trail like they have forever? And will that likely change? So that's question number one. If you can clarify that tonight for us and give us a definitive answer, I would be grateful, and I think a lot of folks in the neighborhood would be grateful.
The question about the school service is no, we do not, and we do not see any changes to the school service. We do review the school routes regularly with the school district. So those do change from time to time based on the loads of the buses, where the students are living, and that kind of thing. They're largely designed about where the regular routes don't work for school transportation. So there could be some changes based on the transit network redesign, but I don't envision any changes to that. Now there is an extra trip of Route 16 that's funded and considered part of the school service. It's a special trip that's designed to coincide with the bell times of the school. And so I could see that potentially being converted into a separate L route rather than just being an extra trip on the G that might go into the neighborhood deeper than Route G goes. And so, you know, it's hard to say that there won't be any changes to the school district service. Again, because we regularly review those routes to try to make them better. But the service that's within the neighborhood going to the schools, we anticipate that staying the same, if not being increased to account for the service on Route G being farther from the neighborhood.
Thank you.
All right, we'll get that posted up online along with the full meeting. That is already posted up online, so you can check out the full meeting. Go to our website, fitchburgwi.gov, click on Fact TV, and of course, you can check it out on YouTube as well. Take a quick break. Coming up next, we open up our guest segment. We're going to take you out to the inclusive playground. It's getting built right now in McKee Farms Park. We'll show you and share the details next right here on TF.
Brandon met a girl on a dating app. He finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving.
She must be a keeper.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. In the guest segment today, we're going to be talking about the inclusive playground. It's being built at McKee Farms Park. We had a chance to check in with Alder Julia DeFrada and Jake Johnson, former Alder, and working on this project as well. Take a look.
We are at McKee Farms Park in the center of Fitchburg, one of the most busy parks in all of Dane County. And partially that's because of everything that's here, all of the wonderful amenities that are here. We have behind us Kids Crossing, the very large children's playground, very interactive between a lot of places to hide and run and jump, and jungle gym and swings and all that. And it's great place for kids, great place for families. You'll see people walking their dogs around even today out in the cold. And then right next to us is the beautiful splash pad that the Fitchburg Optimists built back in 2013. And we had this piece of land back here that for all practical purposes was used for parking during Fitchburg days. And that was the main use of this piece of land in this gorgeous park. So, Julia came to me a few years ago, Alder Julia Radafrada, and was talking about building an all-inclusive playground. So a playground for kids of all abilities, where they could play with their family, with their friends. A lot of families have maybe one or two children or a parent with disabilities, but the rest of the family has full abilities. And so to have a facility that's for everyone, that isn't just for a child with developmental issues, a child with some physical limitations, but for the whole family to enjoy. And so that's a new trend in playgrounds, is that we're really trying to build something that everyone can use. You know, not every child can use a slide. Not every child can use a regular swing set. But everything behind me here is something that every family can use. And we're really looking forward to having a place that families can come play together with their friends. It's not a special, it's not their playground, it's a playground for everyone. So.
Okay, this idea came about in 2018, talking to one of the Fitchburg business that they work with kids with disability here. It's communication innovation or CI therapies. And I asked a question to the owner that she also lives in Fitchburg, Amanda, and I say, Amanda, where do the kids with disability play in Fitchburg? And she said, we don't have a place because we have the kid crossing, but it's not suitable for kids with wheelchair or other physical disability. And I was surprised because I said, wow. And then I said, how many kids with physical or other type of disability are here in the city of Fitchburg or surrounding area? And she gave me like a number that I will never forget. She told me around 700 kids that they are seeing in the clinic here in Fitchburg, that they are kids from the city of Fitchburg or Verona, you know, Brooklyn, Oregon. And I say, oh my Lord, you know what I mean? And my other question that I ask is, where we do have this called dream parks. This is what they call this park, dream parks, in other part of the city. And they say, yes, there is a park that was built in one of a school, the Madison School District in the east side at that moment in 2018. But we don't have anything close in this area. So, and I was, you know, I was shocking because I said, wow. And then I said, okay, and the question was, let's build it. So at that time, Mayor Gonzalez was I talked to Mayor Gonzalez, was the mayor for the city, and I said, Jason, what do you think about, you know, putting a resolution and bring this idea to talk to the park commission first to see what they think. And I said, okay, so, and this is how we started. We started with we went to park commission and we explained that, you know, we have this idea. We don't have this park in the city or surrounding municipality. We want to, how we can make this happen. So the council at that moment decided that it should be like a private and public partnership, you know, like the city, you know, allocate half of the funding and then we need to fundraise the rest of the money. So this is how we started in 2018-19, and then everything was going great until COVID happened, and then we had to, you know, put a hold on some of these projects. But we continue working, meeting monthly with a team, and you know, it was incredible that some of the Fitchburg businesses donated money, some of them big money, and a lot of residents and neighbors. You know, I'm working with the Optimist Club and with Jake Johnson was another great partnership that they are very involved with the fundraising part of the park, and so this is how everything happened.
Another partner I really want to thank is Oak Bank. Oak Bank came forward with a very large contribution recently. So we'll be recognizing both CI and Oak with a large boulder. I still got to determine where the boulder is going to be that we put their logos on. And then of course, all the folks with Fitchburg Optimists. We put in a lot of legwork doing, you know, fundraisers and, you know, had a bowling tournament and raised a bunch of money for this. And then we had a budget item for a bench that we were going to buy originally for the park, and so we rolled that into it. So between the Fitchburg Optimists and CI Technologies and Oak Bank, we basically came up with about $80,000. And then we kind of had an ask in the community and raised another $6,000 from that.
So the other key element of this park is because it's located in a community park, you know, this is open to everyone in the city and surrounding municipality, you know, and this is why we were able to allocate some funds for this park, because we can use fund dedication fee in community parks for new project or new equipment or new feature in a park, and this is fit perfectly. So I am also part of the Parks Commission, and I think we need to, the City of Fitchburg from now on, when we build and design parks, we need to do it in mind how we make our parks connected and inclusive. And this is something that we need to start being more intentional in building this park in the future. We have a lot of new parks in the city that, yes, sometimes people are going to say it's more expensive because to put this type of surface here, it costs like 2 or 3 times more than put mulch. But the idea, okay, how we can make all our parks more inclusive and connected to the trail bikes or the other paths in the city.
So basically this is a swing, but it's a swing that can be utilized in multiple ways. You'll see it's got padding around it. Typically kids will sit on it. It can be partners or alone. And then this entire surface is going to be poured rubber. So it's going to be a really, really friendly surface for playgrounds. Grippy, resistant to falls, one of the best surfaces you can have in a playground. So this is just a swing that families can use together. You'll see it's padded around the outside. You got a merry-go-round, an accessible merry-go-round. This is going to be at grade. So in a wheelchair, you can roll right onto this and you can play. And there's handles and it obviously goes around. Very fun for kids. We have some musical amenities back over here. A lot of therapy uses of the park include audio and visual. And so there's some of that. You'll see there's a ramp here where someone could just wheel right up. And this is called, I believe, the Rockin Coaster. I'll go show you that because it's really cool. So this is where someone in a wheelchair or maybe someone who uses crutches or, a combination, there's benches in there, people with mobility issues and not, who can go up there and basically be rocking on the coaster. So one of the other really cool things is how connected this is. So you'll see we're right on the northern side of McKee Farms Park, with the splash pad over to my right, and we connected everything with multi-use trails. So there's no limitations where our splash pad, which is an accessible facility, people with the walker, people with the chair could come through the splash pad and come right over to the accessible playground without anything in their way. And then you'll see there's a sidewalk going around the whole thing. There will be some benches in here, and our goal is to build some shade structures too, so there's a little respite from the sun. Council recently approved some additional funding for a drinking fountain. So when you're playing outside and you are exercising in the warm Wisconsin weather, having water on site really makes it more usable to families and to kids. Then they can play longer. And we have, of course, we got changing rooms and bathrooms right over at the splash pad that are just all accessible via the trail. People don't have to go out into the lot to go back in, which is really a big safety feature.
I would like to thank you, the city staff, especially the park department, the Optimist Club, Jake and his team, people from Communication Innovation, CI, and all the residents and donors that they are supporting, and we will need more support. So this is not the end. We will need more support, once the park is fully functional, we are going to be able to, I think, to showcase the park to future donors. But I would like to say thank you, gracias, to everyone that participated in this project.
All right, we'll look forward to sharing the details when that project wraps up, but glad to have that in their community. And thank you to everybody who's been working on this project. It's awesome to have this in our community. We're going to take a quick break, wrap up the show next. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg, wrapping up the show for the day. It's been a fun show today, for sure. We had, want to thank everybody who came out for that Town of Madison transit meeting last night. Appreciate the feedback and, of course, the inclusive playground. Thank you to Jake and Julia for sharing the great details on that project. As we wrap up here, remember you can stay connected with Fact TV. We got you on Facebook. We got you on streaming. We got you on demand. We got you on cable TV. We're everywhere, folks. Have a great day, everybody.